Hey, I want to take a moment today to answer a question I got during a live chat the other day that I didn't have a chance to answer then, but I'd like to answer now because I think it's a question a lot of people, especially people new to guns, might have. And the question was regarding a single action firearm like this one right here. You know, this is a Browning high power. These single action guns are generally made to be carried with the hammer back and the safety on. It's what's called cocked and locked. But a lot of people are not comfortable with that. They're not comfortable with the hammer being back, even though there's a safety right here. And some people have asked me, is it okay to carry a single action gun with the hammer down and the safety off, like this right here, in this position here? And now I know the tactitard answer would be like, no, train, 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 train. But you know, that's an answer from people who like to pretend that everyone wants to be an expert or wants to be some sort of tactical god. I like to be realistic and realize some people don't care about that. They just want to have a gun on them in case they ever find themselves in a bad situation. They don't want to have to be one of those people that says, I sat back and watched him reload in horror and I couldn't do anything about it, blah, 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 that kind of thing. So I'm going to tell people, yeah, you can carry with the hammer down and the safety off if you want to, but take some precautions. I'm going to tell you here what I mean by take some precautions. As you can see, this gun right here, like I say, it's meant to be carried, hammer back, safety on. This is totally safe. I would love for everyone out there to get comfortable enough with their firearm to carry this way. And maybe if you do carry with the hammer down for a while, you'll eventually get to where you're comfortable carrying this way. This still isn't even my optimal way to carry because I don't even like having a safety. I like having just a double action, single action gun where you just pull the trigger and you go. So single action with a safety is not my favorite type of gun, but if you're going to carry it, it's okay to not carry it the way it was intended because, you know, you're going to have to do one thing or the other when you draw this gun if you carry it with the hammer down or with the hammer back. You're either going to have to practice thumbing off the safety as you take your gun from your holster so that it's ready to fire, or if you decide to carry with the hammer down, you're going to have to practice as you draw your weapon, thumbing back the hammer, which is not as easy as a task. So you are giving yourself a little bit harder task than thumbing off the safety, but still, that's not insurmountable and I had trouble pronouncing insurmountable there, but that's not insurmountable if you're in a bad situation and you need your gun. Now, I don't think you're going to be in a split-second situation. It's not very likely. But even if you are, that's not going to be that much different thumbing off the safety. But if you're one of those people that thinks a split second matters, you might want to reconsider and get more comfortable with your gun carrying with the safety on. But as you can see, you're going to do one thing or another with a single action gun. So if being able to carry it with the hammer down and no safety on means you will carry a gun that you wouldn't carry if you couldn't do that, well, I'd rather you carry a gun even if it's in the least optimal configuration than I would you not carry a gun at all. So I'm going to say, yes, I approve this. But like I said, there's a couple of things you need to make sure of first. Now, first off, I would say, just choose a different type of gun. If it makes you nervous to have the hammer back, well, I don't know why you would choose a single action gun anyway, but since there's a lot of people out there that ask this question about, you know, can I carry hammer down? I assume some of you are, so I'm just going to assume you have your reasons, and I'm going to tell you what I think you need to look for in your gun before you decide to do that if you're going to carry a single action. And that thing is, you have to be able to make sure that your gun model does not allow for the safety to go on while the hammer's down. Because it's one thing to know you got to draw your hammer back while you're drawing your gun, but if you draw it back and then the safety has gone on without your knowledge, well, then you're going to find yourself in a bad situation. So you have to make sure the hammer right here, the safety right here, can't be put on accidentally. On the high powers, it will not go on if the gun's hammer is down. So, you know, this would be safe to carry with the hammer down. Now, 1911s, that isn't always the case. Sometimes, if the hammer is down, the safety cannot go on completely, but it can go on far enough that if you cock the hammer back, oh, look, you can't fire the gun. So that would be bad. To cock that hammer back, think you're ready to go, and now you have to, now I got to also deal with the safety before I can actually fire my gun. That's going to make a big difference. That's something you don't want happening. And it's just not 1911s. I'm not just slamming on 1911s. I love SIGs, but this SIG Sauer here, this SIG X5, this is kind of a high-end gun. But if you've got the hammer down, this safety right here can be fully engaged. And then when you cock your hammer, pull your trigger, nothing happens. You'll have to disengage the safety also to fire the gun. Now you got two things you got to do. And if you're the person that's carrying with the hammer down, I doubt you're practicing with the safety. So if you're going to carry one of these guns, I would have to say you're either going to have to take another step and practice to cock the hammer and thumb off the safety, which seems like you're getting kind of into ridiculous territory for me. You either have to do that or, like I said, choose another gun. Choose a gun as double action, single action, or something like that. But this right here, I just think training to do both things would be silly. So just make sure you don't choose a gun like this where the safety can go on if the hammer is down. Make sure you choose something like a Browning high power, like I said, that when the hammer is down, the safety will not engage. So if you want to carry a single action gun, go ahead. If you want to carry a single action gun with the hammer down, go ahead. Just make sure that you know what your gun is likely to do or what it's actually capable of doing as far as something going wrong. And if you're going to carry a single action gun with the hammer down, I'm not going to call you names. I'm not going to say, well, it's fine to carry that way if you got a vagina. I'm just going to say it's not the optimal way to carry, and you should train to carry better, and you should get more comfortable with your gun so you can carry in a better condition. But until then, go ahead and do it. Just make sure you choose the right gun.